Hi, welcome again to another video in the series where I'm ranking the license plates, every design from every state. I'll have a more detailed view in the description as well as a link to where I found the original list of all of them, where I got the inspiration to do this from, as well as a link to make your own ones if you should like, for whatever reason. And anyways, as you can probably already see here, there's going to be a lot of Maryland. Maryland actually has the most individual designs from any state, and a lot of them are bad, unfortunately. So I will be taking some of the best ones that stand out from the rest at the beginning here, and as we're getting into it, because these are all good here, whereas these are not. So I'm going to be putting these all in F, because that's where they belong. So they're not good. They are pretty much a logo on a blank white background that has no thought put into it, and that's not good. Obviously, the list is my personal opinion, and I will I'll let that affect where I put stuff. Anyways, let's get back into it. See, these are a little bit more than just that, whereas these are not, so they are put here. Alright, and see, this base Indiana design is pretty good. These ones are, well, that one's a little bit better. This one's a little bit better than that. But these are not good. And for that reason, because it's not like Maryland can't have good designs. A lot of them just aren't. And as you can probably see here, due to the site I use, there is a little bit of a crop on some of them that I cannot get rid of. And that's unfortunate, but it's just how it is, so. Alright, so I'm through that first batch of Maryland, and later on, after here, from here to pretty much the end, it's just a lot of the same from Maryland again. So those are all going in the bottom. So Kansas, I actually started this earlier too. Unfortunately, I ran out of room, so I had to get rid of the video and restart it with having more room on my computer now too. Well, on a different hard drive for my computer now. This is a B-class truck for Illinois, and that's fine. I've said this before, and I'll probably say it again. For like antique plates like this, I think having a more simplistic design works better. And I think that this is a little bit better than these Indiana ones. I don't know what state this is from, but it's a pretty good plate. As I said earlier, where you couldn't see, actually this is pretty good for a, well, it's fine for what it is. So, a lot of these Illinois school plates are C tier, I feel. However, as you will probably see in just a minute, Alright, except that's D tier, because this is, yeah, except, the UC plate and the U of I plate do have a little bit more than the rest of them, so I do put them up a little bit higher. These are pretty similar plates, and I think it works for the type of tracks they go on. And I feel the same way about this. Actually, I think that's B tier, I believe. I believe that's what I put it earlier. See, an autocycle plate, I'm not entirely sure what an autocycle is, but I think the concept of it having its own plate is interesting enough that, like, the plate's fine, but the concept of what it's for is interesting enough that that'll bump it up a tier or two sometimes for me. And these for boys, no. I just feel, okay, this is a not so good Indiana plate. I think that the base design for Idaho is good enough that I don't care that much if they use the base design and the logo, because it's a good base design, whereas, like, just a plain white background with a logo, that's a big old nothing. Sorry, I meant to put these here. Alright. And I do think these Kansas ones are pretty solid C tier. These military ones from Kansas are pretty fine for the most part. Like, nothing to write home about, but, like, they're not bad per se. And, alright. Most of the Illinois sports plates are pretty solid B tier. And they're, like, everyone also, every single of these sports plates also has a companion, like, motorcycle plate, which I feel the same way about. And this is where the Cubs belong. And I wish the Sox belonged there, but they don't. They're not that good, unfortunately. I wish they were good, but they aren't. So, as I said earlier, for a classic vehicle or, like, antique, I feel that the plate design should be simple. However, for Indiana like this one, supporting oil is cringe, and you shouldn't do it. So, as I said, personal opinions will impact how I rank things. And these are all going straight to D tier. I do think that these are a little bit better than that, though, so I will put them higher. Alright. I just think that's by far the best plate Illinois has. It's got the cardinal, which is the state bird, and wheat, which represents probably a lot of the farmland that Illinois has. This is not as good, but it's not bad. This is B for book. I believe that's the education supporting plate. This is another good Kansas plate here, but as you can sort of see, Kansas sometimes has the same problem. as Maryland here. Except this one actually has a little bit more put into it, so I will rank it higher. Whereas these ones, I will not. Except for the antique plate, which I have already stated my opinions on that, and I most likely will again in the future videos. I think that this is a Class D truck plate. Oh, sorry, I meant to put these in C tier. I think that the green just works a little bit better. And I think that this is a good firefighter plate. I think that's what a good firefighter plate should look like. These are fine. And I wish that these firefighter plates were as good as that one was. This one is fine. That one is cringe. It's not that bad, but it is like... And I feel that these are some really good canvas plates. This is what a good license plate should be. It's got a good color scheme. It all works together. It's not too complicated. You can get the basic idea of it at a quick look. What it is clear. What it's for is clear. That's what a good license plate is. And I think these are just two of the same sample plates here. I think that Kansas has a pretty good base plate design, and unfortunately they don't use it for a street rod. I think having that design is not as good though. This is also another really well designed Kansas plate here. And for an official plate, like, I think that's about what it should look like. So that, I feel, C tier. Whereas these ones are not good. I wish they were, except the EMS plate is a little bit better. It's got a little bit more of a logo. This one has a little bit more of a design as well. I think enough that I can actually bump it up to C tier in my opinion. However, these ones, and I think the green works well enough here that it's very boring still, but the green is interesting enough. Here's another good canvas plate, which just proves to me that, you know, if they wanted to, they could have a bunch of good plates, but they have a bunch of mid plates at best. And these are pretty solid B tier plates from Kansas here. And that's even better. Kansas definitely has some good plates when they try. These belong in C tier. And this is another D tier. Yeah, Indiana has a lot of not so good ones. Like these ones. They're sort of, whatever, just. Alright, so I feel that all of these Illinois, metal plates belong in D tier. So I'm gonna clear out the ones before it so that I can get them all together. Even though because they are mostly higher. Even if they're just B or C for the most part. Although Indiana definitely has a lot of D tier as well. I think when Kansas puts in any effort, they tend to get at least C tier. Instead of just plastering the logo on a white background, because having a logo on a white background is, in my opinion, and alright, and because it's easier to not have to scroll as much, these are all there's a little bit more than just on a white blank background, as you can clearly tell, which means that I don't feel that they actually belong all the way at the bottom in F tier, like most of these ones are, because these clearly have a little bit more in them, but there's too many of them for me to to be able to conscientiously put them any higher than D, because they're all obviously formatted to be essentially the same thing. So this part is pretty boring when I'm doing a lot of the same here, but that's sort of just how it is sometimes. And I'm seeing some more of these Indiana plates that I also feel the same about here. And these are not good Indiana plates. Mini trucks having their own plate is interesting enough that I will also put that a little bit higher. And here's a disabled autocycle plate, which I obviously feel about the same about. And now okay, this is going to be the last tape before all the Marylands again. I think for a pretty standard motorcycle plate, it's D tier. And again, most of these Indiana plates are D tier in my opinion. This is a B tier organ donor plate, in my opinion. I think this is a good breast cancer awareness plate. And these are like, you know what? No, they're C tier. I do feel, because like these are D tier, and these are definitely better than some of the other ones. This is a vanity version of the standard Illinois plate, and I think about the same of the Illinois and Kansas standard plates, to be honest. And let me get that. Alright, yeah. Alright. Sorry. That should be good now. This is more than just a logo, because it's like, I just wish it was slightly better. I think the old Illinois plate design is only C. Okay, where did I have the other? Here. Here it is. I think the green is better than the blue for Illinois. Like, these ones are better than the ones with essentially the same logo but blue. These are not as good. I think the colors, the blue background with the green foreground is not so good. That's B tier, I feel. And here's more of the boring ones again. That's boring. That is, some of these are more boring than I wish they were. Actually, this is fine design. At least that has a little color to the logo. Yeah, no, that doesn't deserve that. Sorry. Being from Illinois myself, I definitely get biased towards the Illinois plates. So to try to look at them from the perspective I have, like, and trying to, you know, sort of reset that, I think it's a good thing. To rank them high with any others, like that being D, I mean F, and these being D, except this one's a little bit better. Because, like, these are, actually, that's a logo on a plain background. But this is D tier. This is a little bit better. That's another B tier plate, I feel. Okay, so most of these are going to be better. That's G. This is a... Yeah, that's only A tier, unfortunately. I like what it supports, but it's just not that good. And I wish it was. and it just isn't. I'm gonna try to get most of these, like, Indiana plates that look mostly the same taken care of, because they are all, for the most part, C and D tier. So to get them done means I have less to think about. Later, sort of, you know.
Are you afraid of the dark? Are you scared? I am you.
And here's some more. That's Maryland again. Okay, I think, yeah, the black with green is also not as good as the green with green. These are the ones I was looking for there. Alright, and here's another C tier. And yeah. There's just not a whole lot to say about most of these because they're all so similar. Or the ones I'm trying, because when they all look so similar, I try to do them all at once, you know, because I've already given the reasoning, except that leaves me less to talk about at a time. And there's some periods where I'm really not saying a whole lot at once. And I wish that these were a little bit more, actually no, to have the color instead of the black words is enough in comparison to get them out of F. That's another of the, yeah, okay, so that's a D tier plate design. I think that's one of the older, one of the more standard ones. This is a C tier. Team plate. Okay. And here's a couple more of the standardized Indiana supporting something plates, like team or college or whatever. The ones that are, you know, better than F tier, but not better than B tier. But that one's another. See, some of these are the, again, having colored text on the bottom instead of just the black text can be good enough. This is another good plate design from Illinois. Like, I will admit, Illinois has some bad plates, or definitely not good. Definitely not a good flag. The flag is very boring. However, some of the plates are good, because for the most part, actually they're, for the most part, Illinois put effort into their specialty plates. Like this one. I don't like golf, But it's hard to deny that this is not a good design to show what it is. Clearly, not have like too much. Because this is like too much. Unfortunately, actually no, it's the logo in the background. Or seal or whatever. So I feel it's, you know, fine. I think that this is actually a D tier plate again here. I think this is an option for a standardized plate design, and I think it's pretty B tier. I think I might have... Oh, I just moved this from D tier. Okay, that's what happened. D tier plate. Yeah. Yeah, another D tier plate here. For a historic plate, this is a good historic plate. This is a really good historic vehicle plate. That's about as good as they get, I feel. That's C tier here. And this is D tier. Same with this one. Alright, this is... yeah. I just don't like that design personally. It's not even that bad, it's just not something I like. So as you can see, like, really none of these actually stand out, which is why they all go in F tier. They all look the exact same. There's another D tier. These Illinois hunting plates, I think, all belong in C tier. Goes, not goose, goes. Except I think this fishing one belongs in B. The best. No, I don't know. I think it's just a little bit better too. And this one is also C tier. It looks pretty similar to the rest of those. And that's completely different. But yeah. Unfortunately, some of these are pretty grainy, so it's hard to tell. I think this one just has too much going on to be a better plate. And we're back to Maryland. So this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the video now. Because these all are bad.
Thank God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but you see where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And to quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in it. Oh man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that.
So this video is probably going to be significantly shorter, because it is a lot of just doing this and that. Takes no thought. So, and it also goes much quicker like this, because I don't have to look at what I'm clicking, because I know they're all here now.
Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream.
And really, I don't have much to say here. Unfortunately, I really wish I did, but they're all bad. And I just wish they weren't, because if you're gonna have 900 some plates, you can at least make more than 5 of them good. That's my opinion. And I think I saw like 5 Maryland plates at most that aren't pretty much just this. As you can see, we're almost done now, because it's been a lot of doing just this the entire time. And that's about it. So as you can see, there's a lot of logo on plain background in F tier here. So it's by far the biggest tier here. There's a lot of the same-ish, and then it gets more individualized as you go farther up. Unfortunately, there weren't that many good ones this time, but I hope that it's still better than some of the other ones have been, and hopefully part 5 next week.